Welcome to the Real Estate Leadership Podcast Show. We're here with another good episode, and today we're going to be talking about what can you do with the equity in your home. So, my name is Turner Cavender.
And Travis Hitt here.
We're here to give you some information about anything that has to do with real estate in your journey, and we'd love to serve the community of anyone that's in that journey in the real estate world. So, before we go dive deep into it, we want to ask you something. We don't run any ads right now. We don't do any of that. All we do is we ask you to pay a fee, I guess you would say, and that would be to share it with your friends, like it, subscribe, and share it with somebody else. You never know who this can help out. So please, if you're on iTunes or if you're on YouTube or you see this on social media, on Instagram or Facebook, give it a share, give it a like, and give us some feedback. We can only get better if you let us know. So let's jump into the topic. What can you do with the equity in your home? Travis, what can these people do? If they live in a home, they bought a home, and they have some equity. One, let's start with, how do you find out if you have equity?
Typically, the easiest way is reach out to a realtor and have them run comparable sales.
Hello.
And we're both realtors.
Yeah.
But to see what the value is on your home. The equity, if you don't know what the equity is, it's the delta in between what you paid on it or you owe on it compared to what you're going to sell it for minus your fees. It's the cash that you're going to walk away if you sold the home. So all realtors can run what we call a net sheet based off of what a proposed sales price would be. And then we can show you how much equity you have in your house after fees and your mortgage is paid off if you have a mortgage. But a lot of people don't know that you can do things with that money, with the equity you have in your house. A lot of people think...
Even without selling the home?
Even without selling the home. A lot of people know that they have equity, but they believe that you can't touch that money until you sell, and then the title company sends you that check or that wire. Mm-hmm. But you can. The biggest one that people know about these days that we did a podcast on is the HELOC. Mm-hmm. So
what is HELOC?
Home equity line of credit. So basically what that means is a bank will lend you 80% of the equity that you have in your house, and you can use that money for whatever you like. But there's other things you can do as well. And if you have a great lender, we have multiple great lenders that we would be happy to connect you with if you want to talk to one of them about what you can do as well. But you can go buy another property. You can buy investment properties. You can buy Airbnbs with the equity in your home. Now, the one biggest thing I tell people is it's not free money. You remember, you have to basically pay that back onto your home to get it back whenever you sell. If you don't, then that will be taken out of the remaining equity you have, if you have any, or you'll have a lien on your home. Mm-hmm. But you can utilize that cash equity you have in your house to go buy another property, to use it as a 20% down payment on a rental property, and you're not using your own cash. So to give an example, I have clients that, let's say they have $100,000 or $200,000 in equity and they want to start a rental portfolio, and they don't want to use a lot of their own cash. Well, instead of going to get another loan and do a loan process on that house, you still have to do a loan process, but instead of using their own cash that's in their savings account or IRAs or investment accounts, they will use the equity that they have in their home to put the 20% down on a rental property or Airbnb or whatever investment you want to do. And then they use the income from that property, the one that they purchased, and they pay back that equity into their home.
Can I elaborate a little bit on what you just said?
Yeah.
Just in a different way, because we all take information a little bit different. So, what are the positives about what he just explained? So, say you would like to go down that rabbit hole, and you want to take out the equity out up to 80%, whatever it is, to put that money down on an investment property. Okay. You're already on your journey to compound your wealth. What do I mean by that? Meaning that you buy an investment property. Obviously, that investment property is most likely going to be a rental, right? Mm-hmm. So you're then creating cash flow. What is cash flow? Cash flow is what you can do to help you pay for lifestyle. It could help you pay for your mortgage and some of the percentage that you have to pay back for using the HELOC or getting money out for the equity to buy the home. But this is the starting phase to you building a real estate portfolio and building cash flow to one day maybe take you out of your plan A, that 9-to-5 job that you want or you have. So that is another way of putting it. Kind of what
correct. Yeah. That's a great way to put it. There's a lot of variables that go into it. We like to just put out information, but again, we'd be happy to talk about situational basis as well, because there's a lot of things to think about. Is if you're taking the money out of your equity in your home just to put 20% down, you have to make sure that whatever you're buying, your monthly return is higher than the payment that you have to take out that money. So it has to make sense. Mm-hmm. Now, if you have a couple $100,000 in equity, which a lot of people do here in Texas because of when they purchase their home, a lot of people are taking that money and they'll go put it buy another house cash, and then they're using that income and they'll pay a portion of it back to their home that they pull the equity out of. If that makes sense. So there's different ways to do it. So you want to make sure that it makes sense, and we can help you with that. A lender can help you with that. But it's a great way to buy other properties without touching your own personal money. And a lot of people don't know that you have access to those funds. Another big thing that you can do is a cash out refi. Cash out refi is different than a HELOC. A HELOC, you're borrowing that equity from your home at a certain interest rate and you pay it back. A cash out refi is basically, let's say you have $200,000 in equity on your home. You say you want that money now, or you've lived there a very long time and you're retiring and you're using it for
my
retirement.
Money, I want it
it's
now.
My money. You can do a cash out refinance on your home and pull out either all of your equity or a certain portion of your equity and use that for whatever you want. You just have to understand when you go to sell your property now, you've already pulled that equity out of your house.
Well, let's make it situation here. Like, say like you got a little crazy and you went and bought a lot of things on credit cards, right? It could be retail stuff. It could be you weren't being very smart with your credit card.
That
right?
bass boat just had to have it.
Yeah, gotta have it, right? Those stupid loafers, all that stupid stuff that you could.
Hey.
I'm not saying stupid. I'm not taking stabs here. I'm just saying it happens, right? And credit card can have from 17 to 22% interest rate on that purchase. So say you want to do a cash out, right?
Refi, yep.
Cash out refi. And you want to pay off that debt, and then the interest rate on that is much lower than that credit card. So therefore, you're saving money over the long term, and you can just focus on paying that back. So there's different options.
And let me clear something up.
Yeah.
There is no interest rate that you're paying back on a cash out refi.
Okay.
But if you're using it for small stuff like paying off credit cards or smaller debts, you have to be careful, because if you're taking out a small portion, you don't want to refinance your home for a cash out refi for a very small amount, because you pay fees on the refi. You have to be careful depending on the time where the interest rates are. You never want to do a refi on your home if you have a 4% interest rate and the current rates are 5 or 6. Would not make sense to take that cash out. As long as rates are lower than what you currently have, then you can do a cash out refi. You get a better rate on your home currently, and you can use that money for whatever, but there's no payback like there is a HELOC. When you do a home equity line of credit, then you have a stipulated interest payment a month on that money that you're pulling out, because they know you're going to pay it back. You want to put it back into your home.
It's all situational, right? I should have been more elaborate on that, and I'm glad you're here to help me out with that.
That's why there's a lot of different things that go into it. But the biggest thing we want people to know is when you own a home, it puts you in really good positions, not just because you have a roof over your head that you own or you have a lot of equity long term. There's a lot of smart investors and really smart people out there that know how to utilize money that is not in their checking or their savings account, but they have it as equity in different properties that they own.
So cash out refi and HELOC are the ways you use equity in the home that you purchase.
Those are two big ways. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can go buy other properties with that equity that you have without putting yourself in a bad position and liquidating all of your own cash.
Well, we're about 9 minutes into the show here. I don't want to make it too dry and too boring. Do you think we nailed this? Or do you think we got this too?
Yeah, because most of that, you got to talk to a lender.
Yeah.
Because, again, it's situational. Everybody has a different situation within their mortgage and what they have. So we just want you to know that if you have equity, you have cash you can use, and be smart about it.
Yeah, and like always, I like to make us very accessible to you. So if you would like to get in contact with myself or Travis or anyone on the team, there will be a link in the description box or the comments about this iTunes or YouTube. You can schedule a call with us. You can also just ask questions on there, text messages, call. We are here to serve you, and that's why we do these shows, to get information out for you that are in the journey in the real estate. And when you think about real estate, think about real estate leadership. We'll see you next time.